How's everyone doing? You're very welcome to the LFC store in the Ilac Shopping Centre here in Dublin City Centre, where you can pick up everything Liverpool FC, including the retro jersey range, which you'll see around the place as well, the brand new Liverpool jersey and LeBron James collection. And I think we're pretty much good to go. We've got a legend in Gary McALLISTER waiting in the wings for us. We're going to talk about the team, the current team, Gary's crop as well, that great season under Gerrard when they lifted the 3 cups. Gary played such a pivotal role as well. And then TikTok superstar Eric Roberts is going to join us as well, big Liverpool fan. I was chatting to him. He was at the Chelsea game. He was lucky enough to get a ticket for that Chelsea game and that great night for Conor Bradley. So we're going to be here for the next hour or so, and hope you enjoy the show. And I think it's time to bring out Gary McALLISTER now, if we want to give him a round of applause. How are you? Gary McALLISTER, everybody.
Nice to see you. Cheers.
Welcome to Dublin, Gary. Hopefully you'll be back here in a few months.
Yes, it would be nice. It's one of my favourite cities on the planet.
Yeah.
For other reasons. It's a good, fun place, but yeah, it would be fantastic if the Reds can get back here for the final. I
think when it became inevitable that Liverpool were going to end up in the Europa League, a lot of Liverpool fans here in Ireland said, well, do you know what, if you're going to do it, this is the season to drop into the Europa League, because the final in Dublin, and as it transpires, hopefully it's not Jurgen Klopp's last game. It'll be a cup final a few days after that, but what a trophy to win.
It's an amazing trophy, because obviously it brings back memories for myself and that brilliant season where we won the treble, but it was the UEFA Cup then, and it was in Westfalenstadion in Dortmund, and the game against Alaves was very memorable. It was an amazing night. 5-4 golden goal. There was, I don't know if you can picture Westfalenstadion with the big yellow wall, which is very similar to the Kop. You know, Alaves had that, and then for the other 3 quarters was just Liverpool fans, and it was an amazing night.
Yeah.
So if they can replicate that at Dublin, it'd be happy days.
Yeah, few games to go. But there is a lot of similarities between that season and this season, where the games are going to be coming thick and fast. They already are. Now, I don't think you got as many injuries back then, your squad, because this Liverpool team have been hit with a lot of injuries, but they keep coming up with the answers. Saturday, about 5-5, everyone was thinking, 0-0 draw. You know, it was one of those where mightn't be the worst result.
I've got to say, the same as you. I didn't see the game live. I watched the highlights come through later on afterwards. I thought Forest were excellent. I thought Forest they're pretty impressive, and they probably feel hard done by to lose such a late goal. But these are the sort of things that there's only few clubs in the world that are capable of doing it, and Liverpool's one of those clubs. We managed to, a number of times that Liverpool score way into extra time, and that comes from the fans, but it comes from, you know, the training ground, the history of the club. That you just keep going and keep going until the final kick of the ball.
Yeah,
and it paid dividends. You know, it's a massive result.
Oh,
you know, come the end of the season, I think the Liverpool, you know, you're going to look at the game at the City ground and go, that probably has won us the league. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, absolutely, fingers crossed indeed. And you get games where you could win 5 or 6-0, but there's nothing sweeter than that feeling of the last minute goal, and the fact that it was Núñez as well. He's a player that seems to divide opinions, but I think I'd be surprised if the majority of the people in here don't absolutely adore him, because you know what you get with Darwin Núñez. He's going to give you everything. Sometimes he doesn't score, but I've never seen a player
I think the thing that Darwin's got is, and it's something that the home fans really are impressed by, is that love for the jersey. You know, he plays, he just runs his heart and soul every single game. He has missed a few chances. He's sometimes the ball's played up to him, his touch can be better, but they see a player who's actually just grafting and grafting. But just going back to the City ground, I thought 98, 99 minutes, McALLISTER receives the ball on the edge of the box and just sort of a little feint, moves it onto his weaker foot, and just stands up a wonderful little cross to the back post area. And those are the little bits of quality that are required. It's going to be about moments. Every game's going to be decided by a moment, and that was a moment where McALLISTER just had the guile, the composure, and just moving the ball even onto his bad foot, and just dropping a little cross right onto Darwin's head for the winner.
Yeah.
And that's going to help.
It's not the first time a McALLISTER has had composure to set up an important goal or to certainly have a hand in a Liverpool win. Just, it's very exciting from an Irish point of view that there's such a great connection with Liverpool and Ireland, and maybe over the last few years there hasn't been that many Irish players in the squad. But here we are, massive game at the weekend, but in the title running, there's 2 Irish players in the squad. There's 2 Irish players that are now starting, and they're pivotal to what happens between now and the end of the season. Let's start with Ciaran Kelleher. Looks like by the end of the season he'll have played more than 20 games. For a backup keeper, that's a lot, but how good was he in that League Cup final?
Well, the thing is now he's really enjoying the fact that he's played in big, high-profile games. That might be that ambition to actually go and spread his wings and be a number one. But we have to wait and see. But what I would say, I was at Wembley last week, and he made 2 amazing saves. He's been brilliant every time he's been asked to play. He's been outstanding. So he's been amazing. Connor's been amazing, and young James McConnell. The 3 of them have been particularly outstanding.
There's another kid as well that could be worth watching as well, Trent Cohn-Doherty, a Derry lad as well. But there's so many kids coming up through the ranks, and we didn't think we'd see them so soon. But as I mentioned,
I thought the arrival. I was at the Chelsea game, and prior to the Chelsea game, Connor had been outstanding. He was building up. His performance was just getting better and better. His quality was getting better. His final ball into the box, his delivery was good. But I thought we'd seen the arrival of something pretty special against Chelsea, because it just all came together. Scored a goal. Everything happened. Assists, flying forward, quality on the ball, scoring a goal. Everything. It was just magical to see a young guy getting his chance and just improving, listening to the manager, playing within a discipline of the team, and then just sort of exploding, really exploding into the scene, and just people know who he is now.
Bradley even showed his versatility in that game where he was pushed on. But you could just see the joy that win gave Jurgen Klopp, because of the fact that he had to call on all these young players to get through extra time. And
well, it's something he's done in the last 3 or 4 games. Each time, that we've been battered by injuries. Big, high-profile players, massive players for the team and the squad. But every youngster that's been asked of it. And I think there's a lot of praise has got to go to the academy, because Alex Inglethorpe, who looks after all the kids from 7s and 8s, there's a humbleness about them. So there's something happening at that academy which is very special. Nobody's coming and thinking that they warrant a chance. They just go in, they do a job, and you can see them just absorbing everything Jurgen Klopp is saying to them. And that alone, sometimes young players think, I don't need to be listening. I'm a good player. But there's something, there's the work ethic, the ethos, and just the intensity of them. That this doesn't happen. That's something that the work being done at the academy is outstanding. And I think that goes to the academy director. He's got to take a lot of praise because every youngster that's jumped on the pitch for Liverpool this season, they've been outstanding. Yeah,
and you've obviously been at Liverpool. You would have played with some of the best academy products. You would have played with Robbie Fowler, with Michael Owen, Jamie Carragher, Steven Gerrard, where there was a stage where these players weren't coming through anymore. But now in the last few years, there's a few stars coming through.
Yeah, and I think the wonderful thing is like the beauty of that means you don't have to go to the markets. Recruitment becomes not easier, but if you're actually allowing young players to develop, and you get this conveyor belt of quality coming from with everything built in. Because if you're at a club from 8, 9 years old, when you actually get onto a pitch and play in front of the Anfield crowd, you'll crash through walls for the club. So that you can't buy. That's only a result of bringing your own youngsters through. So the club is in a fantastic place at the moment, but unfortunately we've had the news of the manager leaving.
I didn't want to mention that.
But ever since that announcement, and I've been to Anfield since. It's very emotional. The first game back was against Norwich, where I seen loads of grown men crying. There was stewards and stewardesses everywhere. It was really raw. You could feel it. But it worked. You know, they just Norwich were decent, but the fans smashed Norwich. And I think they're going to, you know, like against Luton for 10, 15 minutes where it was getting a bit, oh no, please don't drop points against Luton. There's 10, 15 minutes where the crowd just gathered again, and it was like, wow. I'd never, you know, I've been in Anfield when it's special. But recently, and then at Wembley, away from Anfield, the fans battered the Chelsea fans. The Liverpool fans battered them. And I thought that played a massive part in Virgil getting the winner.
Yeah, and it's going to be an emotional roller coaster between now and May, and the energy levels, players, fans, Jurgen Klopp, everything's going to be tested, because sometimes Liverpool don't do things the easy way. You mentioned the Luton game where there was that sticky patch where you thought it was a midweek game. This is your chance to put down a marker.
I think the flip of that though is it's one of those clubs when everybody's pulling together, and it does gather a bit of momentum. It sort of just snowballs, you know. And I can only look back. I'm just giving you my sort of feeling of the club. I'd played my whole life against Liverpool and thought I knew what Liverpool was about and playing at Anfield. But it's not until you actually join the club that you actually realise how big a club it is. It's miles bigger than I thought.
Yeah.
You know, and obviously you learn that by playing cup ties away from home or going to, you know, far-reach places in Europe. We had a great European run in the UEFA Cup. And then you see how big it is. There's fans everywhere.
Yeah.
You know, I tell a story. It's like one of the most bizarre things of, I was looking at the Mona Lisa in the Louvre in Paris once, and there was 2 Japanese Liverpool fans come up and took a photo of me, and I'm sort of saying, the Mona Lisa's there. Why you want to take a picture of this big baldy Scottish guy? And it was like it goes into every part of the planet. That's what surprised me about the size.
So you played at Anfield, obviously, as an opposition player. You know, you played for a very successful Leeds team that won the league title. What was it like there as an opposition player?
Well, the thing is, there was when I first came down in '85. You know, so there was still Hansen, Dalglish, Barnes. You know, so they were in their pomp. Liverpool were just they were probably like Guardiola's Barcelona. They were playing a game that nobody else was playing. You know, and at times you would look around and go, "Have they got more men?" It looks as if it felt as if they had more men. So they would make these little overloads, all the spiel that you hear commentators and pundits talk about, and as if it never happened before, of making, you know, 2v1s or 3v. You know, they had this ability to come into small pockets and play football that nobody else was playing. So allied with the Kop, you just felt it was like, let's just try and keep the score down. You know, that was that sort of feeling. But then to actually go and play there, and then when you're in difficult parts of games, which we've just chatted about, and it's amazing how it does help, because it might just be a tackle, it might just be a shot at goal, and then something just changes inside that ground. And when they're onside, it's special. You feel played against a very, very good Barcelona side in the semi-final, and they had everybody, Rivaldo's, the
Pep was playing, wasn't he?
Yes, he was playing. And, you know, look on paper, but again, fans, just I'm still reminded, I think we were just chatting about it there, when Messi came after that, you know, when Barcelona came, when we beat them again, after being 4 or 5 down, and he's just looking at the Kop and thinking, wow, it's one of those, it's a special, and I'm so pleased that the owners kept it there. You know, rather there was a lot of talk about rebuilding, but actually keeping Anfield at Anfield and just doing the renovations, it's special, because it's a special place.
Yeah, and when you get the call to join Liverpool, how did that go? How did it all come about in the summer of 2000?
When I first got the call, I'm thinking it's a massive wind-up. My agent, Struan Marshall, phoned me, says, I think Liverpool might be. I says, yeah, good one. And then it was. Then the chat became that Gerrard Houllier was trying to get somebody into the club that would help the younger ones, because there was still getting labelled a little bit of the Spice Boy thing, I thought was pretty poor. It was only because of the white suits at Wembley. But they had some really good players then. But Gerrard was speaking to Struan Marshall, my agent, about bringing somebody in, an older statesman, try to help a group of Gerrard, Owen, Murphy, Carragher, not necessarily to play every week, but just to try and help them navigate Monday through Friday, how to prepare for a game, how to properly prepare. And my agent, Struan Marshall, a wee bit lucky at the fact that he looked after Heskey, Barnby, Gerrard, Carragher. So he did in at Anfield, and he knew Gerrard truly, and they both trusted each other. So negotiations were really simple. I would have signed for, I was 35. It wasn't a monetary move. Getting the opportunity. My feeling as a player growing up and watching Liverpool over the years, getting to Liverpool represented a better chance of winning a trophy. Little did I know that we're going to win. We won the treble, but also the Super Cup and the Community Shield. So 5 trophies in 1 year. Negotiations were easy. And then when you get there, I didn't want to be a sub. I didn't want to be this guy that was just going to help these young players, train properly during the week. I wanted to play. Ended up playing a few games.
You did all right. You did all right, yeah. And won the League Cup, and it can be important to get that first trophy under the belt. Liverpool obviously.
Well, that's the similarities of the result against Chelsea last week. So it's an early cup final, and now that it's done, people are still, people are still talking about the quadruple because it's still on, and and the game tonight's a massive game. To get pushing forward in the Europa League. Again, the club is when it starts to snowball, anything can happen. And now the fact that we're getting 4 or 5 senior players back on the pitch, hopefully get a couple on there tonight. It's just going to strengthen because we know that the youngsters are capable if there's people dropping out.
That Barcelona game, you touched on it there. The 2 legs of that tie, you have a Merseyside derby thrown in between. Easter Monday.
Yep.
It's injury time. You have a free kick. How many times have you watched that back?
Oh, to be fair,
I watched it back a lot, to be honest.
I've milked it ever since, to be perfectly honest. I don't tire of talking about it either. But what a lot of people don't sort of actually remember, if you just rewind it maybe another minute back, we had a free kick in the exact same spot and we nearly scored for the free kick. I just sort of was sending everybody up to the back post and I was just going to loft one into Babel, Heskey, Haman, the bigger players, just for them to come and try and crash a header in. And I stuck one up at the back post and I think it was Sammy Hippier and flashed the header just wide. So a minute later, I'm sort of making the same signal to just pitch it up to the back post for them to go and attack. And I could just see the goalie. He was wanted to be the hero. Paul Gerrard?
Yeah.
I don't think he ever played since. Bless him. But he was thinking, last kick of the game here, McALLISTER's going to put this up at the back post. And I just seen him move. And saying that, Carragher walked up behind me, and then I can't repeat it, there's a few youngsters here. But you can imagine, because he could see what I was thinking. He says, "Knack, lads." Yeah. And then it went in. And then there's nothing better than flying past all those Everton blue faces. They weren't happy. Past the Liverpool fans. But the thing I remember for me was getting back towards the Liverpool dugout and seeing Sammy Lee, Phil Thompson and Gerrard Hooley with the biggest smiles ever. And there's Everton fans come up to me and it's like it's a moment in their life. They know exactly where they were. It haunts them. It haunts them.
It always gets replayed. And when you've hit it, when do you actually realise this is going in? Is there golfers in here? When you make a good swing and you hit that drive and it just, it follows the shape that you wanted to, that you envisaged in your head. So as soon as my run up, I just seen him. It was a technique that I used. I would always sort of try and keep my eyes focused on the goalkeeper's feet to see if he was moving. And then if there was a movement, I could wrap my foot round the ball. And I know it was I think it started at 40 yards. It's about 55 now. But I could see a wee bit of movement. And as soon as it left my boot, it was like one of those drives.
which you get really proud of.
Pick up the tee.
Yes, quickly. Oh, that was good fun that day. That was good fun.
You know, you barely have time to celebrate that win because you're back playing Barcelona a few days later, and so that's the talk of all these games coming thick and fast. But players must love that. Less time at the training pitch.
Well, yes, exactly. Players, you know, it's as much as players enjoy being at the training ground and enjoy, as I say, enjoy training, but it's much better to play games. Playing games and recovering is basically what the players are doing at the moment. So there'll be very little training. There'll be little walks. Jurgen will be walking through some tactical stuff, you know, probably to help some of the youngsters understand the method. But it's as a player, when you're winning, you just can't wait for the next game. So it's bring the games on. The players will be absolutely loving it. As much as you don't get any time to think about tiredness or fatigue. Yeah. You just want to be involved, and you want to start every game, barring you've got a bad injury, a really bad one. But even if there's little aches and pains, they quick adrenaline just rids you of all those little niggles.
So the adrenaline is pumping, I'd say, when you get the ball, take that penalty against Barcelona.
Yes.
We didn't talk. Robbie Fowler had missed one in the derby.
Yes.
Now, he wasn't on the pitch for the one with Barcelona. So
he grabbed the ball early against Everton as well. Because Robbie wasn't regular in and around those games. But obviously he'd scored loads of penalties over the years. So he'd sort of grabbed the ball off me a wee bit at Goodison. But the game against Barca, it's like, I don't know if anybody can remember it. I remember it. Because it went right in that top corner.
Yeah.
And I was aiming for the bottom corner. But don't tell anybody.
The goalkeeper that night.
Pepe Reina. With a big sort of curly perm.
Yeah.
A Terry Mack perm. Nobody knows who Terry Mack is.
That win, obviously, then you go on and you play Alaves in the final, and that was a crazy game. I remember before that game, people were talking about Alaves are the underdogs. They're going to sit in. This could be a very boring game.
We started the game brilliantly that night, and we were right on the front foot early in the game. We score early. We go 2-0 up. I'm actually, on the pitch. It was Didi Hamann and myself in the middle, and Stephen was playing just to the right, and I think it was Paddy or Vladdy on the left. So I'm just looking at the guys running about me thinking 2-0, let's go and get 3 and 4. And it wasn't so much a message from Gerrard. It was when you get 2-0 up, subconsciously you try to protect what you've got. So I think within the group, and maybe some instruction from the side, listen, we're 2-0 up, this game's over. Let's just sit back and we don't need to take any chances. Where in my head, I was still thinking, 3 would be good. But then Alaves manager, he just thought, I've got nothing to lose here. Started throwing on a few forwards, and then the game changed very, very quickly. It became 2-1, 3-1, 3-2, 3-all, 4-3. It was like a basketball game, and that's probably what we didn't want. But then again, if you've not watched the game in recent times, when we get the free kick that leads to the golden goal, and it goes in, watch it, because half of our team and half of the coaching staff have no idea that the game's finished. They're going back to the centre. They're going back to re-centre for the. I think they might have been 10 minutes left, but the game had ended, and the players didn't know. Certainly the German, the Babel, Henshaw, and Hippier, they were back ready to go again, but the game was over.
There was that little phase where we had golden goals. I remember, obviously, Trezeguet scored one in Euro 2000. What's that like as a feeling? You knew it was a golden goal, though, yeah?
I knew it was a golden goal, and obviously, again, it's like playing a percentage game. The fact is, when you take free kicks and you take corners and you take penalties, you try to hit an area. You're talking about the free kick. I'm thinking, if he moves, I can get. There's quite a big bit of space. What I was thinking, again, it was getting close to the end of the game, and I just thought, I've got to deliver this just into an area. No, don't try to pick anybody out. Don't try to land it on Heskey or Babel or Hippier. Just put it in an area where Alaves have got to defend it, or our boys have got to go and attack it. Fortunately for us, I managed to just get the head of an Alaves defender, and he deflected it in. And then it was fun and games.
We've talked about 2 of the cup finals. We haven't even talked about the drama of the FA Cup final as well. That was the Michael Owen final, as it's known.
Well, it was again. I think there was. I can remember seeing a picture flashing up on TV, and it was 100 degrees inside the stadium at the Millennium. It was roasting. I was on the bench, and that was a big thing for me. That was now that you've just mentioned that, I had scored a few goals leading up to the FA Cup final, and got the news about an hour before kick-off that I wasn't going to start. But prior to that, if you'd said to me, if you've got a chance of playing in one of the 2 cup finals, would it be the FA Cup or the UEFA Cup? As a British player, I would have chosen to play in the FA Cup. But Gerrard had just thought, against Petit and Vieira, the big, powerful, young, energetic, he felt as if that I'd be better used. And getting the news that I wasn't starting against Arsenal, it was a body blow, but I had to show maturity and show that I wasn't just going to, my face wasn't going to be tripping itself, and show the youngsters that but managed to get on the pitch, and we won the game. And in the celebrations, I got the tap from Gerrard Houllier saying, "Be ready for Wednesday." So, the low of not being picked, having to sort myself out, then the high of winning, and then a greater high of the manager saying, "You're playing in Germany on Wednesday. Get ready."
And that's it. With so many games, everyone has to play a part, and it's like the current squad now.
Yes.
Obviously, massive game tonight. Huge game on Sunday.
So nobody's spitting dummies when they're not told not to play, because nobody can play every game, especially now. The pace and the speed of the game and the demands on these players is massive. It's massive.
Do you think we'll see Mo Salah tonight?
Hopefully. And we were just chatting about that earlier. I would like to see him start. I sometimes think can be more difficult for a player arriving in a game to get up to the speed of the game, and you maybe open yourself up for injury even greater than. He's probably trained well all week, and getting into this game, I think he should start. I would like to see him start, and then you'd get an indication if he's ready to play in the big one at Anfield on Sunday.
They need him, don't they, on Sunday? He loves that city.
And
game.
Again, I think that's, you're talking about Foden's on fire, De Bruyne's back, Haaland's scoring, and then if Salah, Nunez are back on the pitch, a bit of magic.
Endo,
moments of
Szoboszlai,
McALLISTER. That's going to be separated by a moment of magic either way.
But even that, City tend to win most games, but under Pep, they just don't like Anfield.
No.
When they did win, there was no one there to see it.
No, it's uncanny. His energy levels just go up a notch as well. He's generally fairly calm, isn't he?
Yeah.
But against Liverpool and Jurgen, there's something happens. They don't. I can't wait. I must admit.
It is.
I'm there at the weekend. I'm looking forward to it.
It's going to be a good one. And would you be confident?
Yeah. Again, not that I'm thinking that Liverpool never actually got to enter a game looking to get a draw. But a draw wouldn't. I don't think a draw is bad for both. But I don't see it. There's 2 different styles. One's very much possession based, and one's like Jurgen wants to get the ball forward slightly quicker. And if all the players that I just mentioned are on the pitch, it'll be fascinating to see who actually comes out on top.
Lovely
but
stuff.
I fancy us.
Yeah. Should be an absolute cracker. I'm going to bring out Eric Roberts, TikTok superstar. He's going to come up on stage now. Give a hand to Eric here.
How are you, folks?
How are you doing, Eric?
How are we getting on? I've been called worse than TikTok superstar. I'll take that.
I had a few other names, but you're looking forward to tonight. Yourself and Gary are going to watch the game together.
We are indeed. We're going to be doing some in-depth analysis and asking Gary some tough questions on the stage later on. No, I'm looking forward to it. I think we're probably not going to put out our strongest team. Probably save some legs for the weekend. But even with a young team, I'd say we'll probably still do the business.
I mentioned there that you were at the Chelsea game. That must have been.
I was indeed.
It
was strange how it came about. The tickets are kind of like gold dust at the minute, but the fella that cuts Jordan Henderson and Robbo's hair messaged me and said, "Do you want some tickets?" So I says, yeah, Dad, a stranger on the internet just asked if I wanted to go to the game. Well, and he says, yeah, let's go. So we went over and watched. We were actually sitting directly behind Bradley's 4 mates from home, and he obviously scored in the night, so it was an incredible atmosphere.
Is that because Jordan Henderson's hair is no longer available because he's in Amsterdam?
I mean, so I didn't want to question it.
You stepped in.
In these guys' lives, the barber is massive, by the way. It's unbelievable. They fly them all over the world. And we
don't have to worry about that, Gary.
Gary was actually getting the trim backstage before he came out.
Just getting in my eyes a wee bit there.
Yeah. So the game itself was incredible.
Yeah, I mean, it came shortly after Klopp's announcement that he was stepping down, obviously, so the atmosphere was amazing. We were actually sitting directly in front of Kenny Dalglish. Dad was trying to take a few sneaky selfies, and I think he got caught at one stage, but it was an incredible game, some amazing goals, and obviously seeing Bradley get one and an assist that night, such a young talent. A lot of the academy boys coming through are phenomenal, and I think we've got some great years ahead.
Where did the love affair start for Liverpool, or when?
I grew up in Dublin, and Dad's an avid Liverpool fan, and he drilled it into me from a young age. I moved up to Donegal then when I was about 7, and everyone in first class was United fans. So I actually went home to Dad at one stage, and I said, I think I'm going to have to support Man United. And he says, listen, you're my son, I love you, that's no problem at all. Let me know if you change your mind and you can move back in. So it didn't last very long, and I've been a Liverpool fan since.
They would have been tough days, but things flip, don't they?
Well, that's it. I mean, I grew up in the generation where you couldn't hit a volley at school if you weren't screaming Gerrard when you were hitting it. You know what I mean? It was an amazing time at Liverpool. You had the likes of Michael Owen, and you had John Adderisa hitting 80 mile an hour free kicks and stuff. So it was an incredible time. It was Dad brought me over to a couple of games, and that's when I really fell in love with the club, when you're stepping into Anfield and the atmosphere.
So, who were your favourite player growing up then?
Obviously Stevie G. Yeah. It has to be Stevie G. I loved watching him. And I watched him from when he first started playing for the club right up to when he finished with the club. And
you played with him?
Yeah.
You've obviously worked with him
obviously
since.
When I got there, he was 19, 20, I think. He was obviously very young, rash, but a lot of people were claiming that they had found him. Like everybody was staking a claim that nobody needed to spot Steven Gerrard. He was very different at 18, 19 and 20. And there was no surprise in my mind that he would go on to be the iconic footballer and guy that he is today, because he just did this, just an intensity and a love and a passion for his club. In the days where some players were pretty mercenary, arriving and just being quite happy to be number 15 or 16, take big Gerrard, Carragher, Murphy, Owen, Fowler made sure their lives weren't. It was their club. They protected their club. They love their. We were talking about that earlier. Just that upbringing, being brought up through the academy. You're playing for the club that you love, and they want to show people that. And that's what Gerrard's game was about. Steven's game was about passion and emotion, allied to amazing skill, but he had this love for the club, and he still has.
I always think if you hear this question asked about Jurgen Klopp's team, if you could pick a player from the past to put into Klopp's team, I think Steven Gerrard perfectly suited for it to play in one of those.
It's a dream combination,
roles.
Isn't it? It's like he'd be the perfect manager for a Steven Gerrard. Just that front foot, being allowed to get forward, have cracks at goal, and that's what he did. Steven's resume and catalogue of goals is as good as anybody's, I would imagine. He's scored some unbelievable strikes.
Yeah.
Unbelievable strikes.
You only get one of them in a lifetime, where they're coming from the academy and they're Liverpool through and through, and we're seeing it again now in the likes of Trent coming through, who could potentially turn into one of the greatest midfielders in the Premier League as well. So it's amazing to have players who are just Liverpool on the heart, and he was one of them, very special ones, and hopefully we'll see more coming through now as well.
And that's what Conor Bradley does. He frees Trent Alexander-Arnold now to go into midfield where you don't have to go out and spend 40 million on the
It's
right
a nice
back.
Selection problem for Jurgen as well. But it's been interesting because Conor's he's jumped up a station as well. He can play further up, and Trent can go in the park. Conor could probably easily step in front of the centre halves as well. Just been that ability to be versatile, because modern day players they've got to actually take in what the manager's saying and play different roles for the team when asked.
Whatever happens between now and the end of the season and during the summer, whoever comes in as the next manager is going to have one hell of a squad.
Well, the thing is, it's if you're relating it to, say, the era of, say, Sir Alex Ferguson at Manchester, when Sir Alex left, there was a total rebuild required. You know, the manager that came in had to start again. Jurgen's done that. There's been a sort of rebuild this season. So whoever arrives has got to sort of. Why would you wouldn't come in and change things? So it's somebody that understands the way that they play now, or wants to play in that style, because it's ready made. There's youngsters, there's experience, there's great players, there's a great mix of abilities in that present squad, and it doesn't need massive rebuild. It might need a tweak here and there.
Yeah.
But there's no major surgery required.
A lot of rumours, Eric, on social media. You go insane. Just different manager linked every day. I kind of just think, just enjoy the end of the season, and what'll be will be.
There's conspiracy theories floating around that he's made this announcement just to give the lads a kick up the hole, and he's going to say at the end of the year, I'm staying on. So there'll be films made about it in years to come. But there's a lot of speculation, and there's a lot of people we would love to step into the position. I know Alonso's on the tip of a lot of people's tongues, and he'd be a great man to have. But Germany's calling as well. So I think it's too early to make a call yet, and I don't think we should be thinking too much about who's going to replace him, but enjoy the rest of the games we have with him while he's still here.
Yeah, okay, well, before we go, I have a lovely little quiz for the two of you. Just to bring that competitive edge back. I'm getting all my props here. So just, look, it's great to be here in the LFC store in the Alex Centre here in Dublin. And I said, if you want to pick up anything Liverpool FC, the retro jersey range, the brand new Liverpool LeBron James collection, just have a look around after as well. So the quiz, it's going to be 3 rounds. Round 1 is about jerseys. So in these 5 bags of 5 different retro Liverpool jerseys. So what I want you to do, I'm going to give you one of these each here now.
Pass that on.
Yeah. And I give you that there. So I have a jersey that I'm going to pull out. So I've got number 1 here. And I want you to tell me what season this jersey was from.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. I think this is a good one now. I don't know. Gary didn't play in this season, so it's not going to be. But it's not a tough one. I'll show it to the crowd now.
It's just before me, that.
So if you just want to write down an answer. We okay, yeah? Oh, there's conferring going on here. I think you need a bit of a confer there, Gary.
Yeah.
Well, let me see. I'll let you know if you're right or not.
I don't know. I think it's before me.
Yeah, a little bit.
Don't be helping him out too much. Let's show our answers.
I mean, the guy scored in a Merseyside derby, you know. So if you want to keep that, we'll go on to the next one.
I'm not cheating.
You're cheating.
No.
I've seen you.
Okay, we'll give you the answer. 95-96.
Did I get that?
Do I win that jersey now?
No, I mean,
I'm sure they had it the following season.
I had down 86 for full disclosure there. So.
we'll give it because they obviously they wore it in 96.
I think they wore it. If they started in 96, they wore it in 97.
I tell you,
It's only a game, Gary.
Yeah.
All right, can we move on, please?
look, the next one is a handy one. Okay, the next one is a handy one.
I know that one. Still wear it to bed.
I think we'd be worried if you didn't get that one.
I probably didn't get it.
Gary has it there, 2000, 2001.
I'm telling you, not just a pretty face.
No, that's definitely not right.
So what are the scores? I'm going to go, it's 1-1 now.
1 each, is it?
Yeah,
Right, okay.
1 each. Now, next one.
Down to the wire.
You always have a player that you can see when you see it. That's exactly what I thought. Yeah. Free kick, Old Trafford, Raymond van der Hausen goal.
I think I wore that as well.
you want to see it again? What I should have done was put the 5 of them on me
And then take them off.
and take them off one by one.
Yeah.
But I would have been absolutely
Way
melted.
off here, am I?
Wait a minute. I think I wore that. I think I wore that as well. Definitely wore a green one.
I can see you in that. Stick it on there, Louis.
Reebok. Go on. What is
Okay,
it?
into my bag. So that's 99, 2000.
You shouldn't have copied me. You were right the first time.
I was right.
Now this is this is an absolute open goal, this one. Just have to block something here.
I know from the back of it, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd say a lot of people still have this one.
I think so. Istanbul, is it?
Oof. There's a bit of conferring going on here, but that's all right. Yeah. Well, I think we'll give Gary the point there because he's got the exact year. It is known
Right,
as
okay.
it's the Istanbul jersey.
Istanbul jersey.
Right behind you, as you said there, Eric.
Someone pointed
the
it out.
answers are right.
It says 90. Does it say it says it on it as well?
So what score are we at now? We're at
I'm winning.
2-1 to
2-1,
Gary.
is it?
Okay. This is the last one here now.
This is Stan Collymore. When did he come? And there was a beige. There was that colour kit as well, wasn't there?
Anyway, aren't you?
The beige one, yeah.
That was bad.
Yeah.
That was
That was a.
that's Robbie Fowler's one I'm thinking of, where he went to Arsenal, remember, and he didn't want them to give the penalty, and he missed it on purpose, and then Jason McAteer knocked in the rebound.
I've down 96.
I'm kind of looking more for the season.
Right, okay.
I have 95, 96.
That's
home
what I meant,
jersey.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, I've gone 97. Two.
Okay, we'll call it
Two each?
We'll call it 2 each, right? As I said, all these jerseys are available. You can see them behind us. They're great. The Istanbul one, the Stan Collymore one, the Gary McAllister one.
What was the candy?
Candy.
85.
That was-
85, 86.
Ian Rush days.
That's
Yeah.
pre-Premier League, when football didn't exist. Yeah. Right, the next round is going to be, we talked a lot about Klopp's
Barnes.
kids, okay? So how well do you know Jurgen Klopp's young players? How much attention have you been paying? Okay? So I'm going to ask you what number. I'm going to give you a number,
Yes.
and I need you to get the player. So the number one player I'm going to give you that wears the number 50 jersey.
Jeez, you're quick off the mark there, Gary. What? Hey? I haven't a notion.
I'll rattle through them and then we can compare notes at the end.
Oh, Jesus.
The second one, number 19. These aren't hard, are they?
Paddy, you going
I have no idea. I'm rubbish at numbers.
Third one is number 53.
Oh, that's fucking. That's him.
You can change.
I don't know.
So you need to go back to number 50.
Yeah.
No, as in who's
Yeah,
wearing
I
number
know.
50.
Yeah, I'm going to do that.
How are you getting on
You
there?
the same as me
Eric?
for 53, have you?
Yeah.
I don't know. All I say is you mentioned his name earlier, Gary.
I didn't know we were helping.
Oh.
I don't know if I am. Next one, number 84. I think everyone gets that, do you? And last one.
I've Bradley down 3 times here.
Well, if you put it down 5 times, you get 1 point anyway. And then the last one, number 76. It's a very high lotto draw.
I've just put Dan's down.
Who?
Don't know. Who else is there? I've got everybody.
You're missing one. How are you getting on, Eric? Before we reveal our answers. Okay, I'm going to go through them here now, okay? Number 50. Young lad.
Dan's.
No. Ben Doak.
Scottish as well.
I was going to
Yeah,
get that.
I didn't.
Stinker.
Number 19.
I went Harvey Elliott.
Harvey Elliott. Yeah.
That's,
It is, yeah.
Hi, Elliot 50. I don't know why. There we go.
Number 53.
Connor. No.
James McConnell.
James is.
Number 84.
Bradley.
Connor Bradley.
Oh, I thought it was Bobby Clark.
One of them had to be right.
Clark. Was the last one Clark?
No. Jaden Dans, number
Dan,
76.
76.
So how do we get on there? You got Harvey right.
I got one.
I had Bradley. That
You
was
got
it.
Bradley. So we're up to 3-3 now into the last round.
Jesus.
This is tense.
Poor quality, by the way.
So, obviously we have to mention that you were on Squid Games, Eric.
I was indeed.
So we've brought in a round and it's going to be called Quid Games. And this is transfer fees. Okay, I will accept both pounds and euro, whatever currency you want to go with. We might have to use an exchange calculator as well. First one, if you want to write down Sadio Mane's transfer fee from Southampton in 2016.
No idea. Guess.
Ready? Are we ready for the next one?
Yeah.
Gini Wijnaldum from Newcastle 2016 as well. Andy Robertson from Hull 2017.
It's not that long ago he was on 15 quid a week at Queen's Park.
He's done all right, isn't he?
He's done all right, the boy.
Yeah, he'll get in as a club legend. Ibrahima Kanate signed from RB Leipzig in 2021. He's not bad either, is he?
Good player. What do you pay for him?
We're going very round figures here.
Yeah. And the last one, I think this signing could be, it's proven to be quite an astute signing. Came out of nowhere last summer. Wataru Endo from Stuttgart. When they signed a Japanese international, I remember that every league title that Jurgen Klopp has won, he's had a Japanese international.
Well, gee, it's in the air. It's in the air.
Okay, we got them all. Right, Sadio Mane. Now, my sources, okay? I got them from
Wikipedia.
a bit of Wikipedia, a bit of Transfer Market, but we've tried to get, and these are initial fees. This is before add-ons and all that. So Sadio Mane, the fee I have down is £30 million, which is 35 million euro.
I'll take the 35 euro, yeah.
No.
Yeah.
If we're going for your, 35 million
no.
euro.
He's going for euro,
And I've
you've
gone
got
for
pounds.
pounds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's 1 point each. Yeah.
Take that.
Yeah.
Some of these have written down in pounds and some of them have written
I
down
don't know
in
about that now. Next thing you'd be telling me dollars as well. But yeah.
yen.
Gini Wijnaldum, I have down £23 million.
24 is no bad.
That's pretty good.
I have
yeah.
15 here as well.
So
That's
we'll
well off there.
give Gary the point
We'll give
there.
Gary that, yeah.
Gary's now 2-1 up. Remember, it was 3-3 going into this.
This
is
the
like
last round?
This is like extra time. Yeah. So here we are in extra time. We mightn't even need a penalty shootout. Andy Robertson, £8 million.
I've gone euro there again, 10 million euro.
No.
We'll take
No.
that, I think.
No having
He's-
that. It's about 8.3.
9.3 million euro would be.
Right,
So
okay.
Gary
I
gets-
said I was rounding off, so you'll...
Gary's going to get the point there. Kanate, I have £36 million from Leipzig, which is 42 million euro.
22 million I was there.
40 million I went.
Yeah.
Actually went 20, but I just gave a wee stroke there.
And Wataru Endo,
15.
I went 16.
16. Gary's won this.
Congratulations.
The Quid Games round is one for Gary.
All right. Don't take it too hard now.
I didn't do well in Squid Games either, so...
Look,
Decent.
it's good. Your transfer knowledge was good.
My kit knowledge was poor.
What would you say...
Youngsters' numbers.
What would you say you'd
Yeah.
go for now in today's market?
I don't know.
I was going to put in Joel Matip just to trick you.
Joel Matip.
Yeah, he cost the same as
21. 21. What would that cost today? I don't know.
What do we reckon?
75 quid.
Now, which Gary McALLISTer are we talking about?
We're talking about the man that came to Liverpool and won the treble.
35. Decent for nothing.
When he finally came into his prime.
Don't know. Decent freebie though.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, that's our lot. Thanks a million, Gary McALLISTer, Eric Roberts. It's been an absolute pleasure. Said if you want to get any of the merchandise around us, or if you want to get photographs with the lads, work away. It's been an absolute pleasure, and thanks for having us here.
Cheers.
Thanks very much.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Well done, lads.